Alrighty, welcome everybody to another episode number 4 of the CyberSec show. Today we have an absolutely banging episode, or show for that matter. We've got some pretty fun stuff coming up. We've got a sponsor for today's video, which is kind of fun and new. We also have a special guest whose name is in the title, so you may be guessing who that is already, and I'm going to bring him in a second. Followed by the CyberSec news, and then finally a Q&A power round. So we've got a pretty packed show. It's going to be super fun and exciting. I'm going to give this guy a call now to see if I can grab him on the line to have a chat and to go over what's the questions that I have for him today. So I'll just bring him up on the screen here. Beamer, what's going on, dude?
Hey, DC. Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. No worries. How's your day been?
Yeah, really good. Really good.
That's good.
Got a few.
I think
bit more work done on some projects, so yeah, it was great.
Oh, nice. I think my camera is like not working in Discord, so you might.
Wheel loading.
yeah, whatever. You'll figure it out, I'm sure. But yeah, we got some fun stuff here, some fun questions to ask you, and to sort of go over, and then we'll have a chat about some of the news items for this week. I've got 2 news items. I was going to limit it down to 1, but there's too much news going on this week. Before I get started, though, today's sponsor is the Safe Internet Project. Yes, I'm sponsoring myself because I don't have a real sponsor yet. If you're keen to sponsor me, let me know. The Safer Internet Project is a community for members to be able to gain experience on real business systems. What I mean by that is if you are looking to gain experience as a professional pen tester or learning to be a professional pen tester, this project is designed exactly for you to gain that experience and knowledge from taking you from essentially zero to hero. What you can do on there is have a look at different learning modules that give you the resources necessary to be able to perform a pen test, as well as complete some blue team security tasks, and then move on to actually performing real pen tests against real businesses. So it's a pretty cool project. Go and check it out, saferinternetproject.com. That is it from the sponsors. Let's get over to asking Beamer here some of the questions that I've written down here, which is basically let's get an introduction of yourself. Let's have a chat about you and how I guess you've sort of gotten yourself into IT/cybersecurity.
Cool. Yeah. Hi everyone, and thanks for the opportunity, DC. So I'm 35 years old, bit of a latecomer to IT. I'm a third year Bachelor of Computer Science student. And as of October of last year, I managed to start my new career as a full-time IT technical systems analyst.
Nice.
I guess, how I got into it. So prior to the recent career change, I spent 16 years working as a tradesman, or a mechanical and hydraulic tradesman in the mining industry in Western Australia. And I guess what sort of sparked the interest in IT was a few projects that I was trying to work on involving single board computers, so Raspberry Pis and Arduinos. And I found that I had way more questions than answers, and decided to enroll in university, and it all sort of snowballed from there.
Nice. That's kind of fun. So that's kind of, I guess that's the inspiration for your channel. Which, by the way, if you guys haven't checked out, there's a link in the description to have a look at Beamer's channel. It's all about home labs. So if that's your thing, and I've banged on about home labs forever, if home labs are something you're interested in, have a look at his channel. There's a lot of really good content coming out, and some that's already been uploaded. He just put up a video today about Proxmark, which is awesome. So yeah, go and have a look at that if you haven't already. But yeah, I guess that's sort of like the inspiration for you for getting, I guess, creating that YouTube channel and sort of pushing you forward as well into IT from a more engineering mechanical background.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sorry, DC.
Yeah, no. That's it. I was just gonna keep expanding on that until I got an answer.
So, I guess the first exposure I had to home labs was in some of the networking units at uni, and fairly early on in it was probably my second year of uni, I joined your Discord channel, and it became and also having had some mentoring sessions with yourself, it became clear that home labs were they made the most sense in order to get my foot in the door, they pay dividends, both in terms of getting my skills up, and in being able to show to an employer that I could do the job.
That's awesome. So you would reckon that I guess home labs have sort of been the pivotal moment for you proving your experience without having any actual experience?
Yep, without a doubt.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I've only had one interview for an IT position, and you could sort of see that moment once I started talking about the home labs with the lady that's now my manager. It definitely got some interest.
Nice. That's cool. She, I remember when she called me up for the reference check, actually, and she asked about the home labs. And I was like, okay, good. He talked about the home labs in the interview. Yeah. That's good. So yeah, I just sort of hammered that one home, I guess. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that home labs is definitely. I mean, I've been saying for a while to a lot of people that if you want to prove that you have experience and passion in the industry, then a home lab is a great way to do it, because you get exposure of the technology that you're talking about, so you can actually talk about it confidently and say, this is what I've done and this is how I did it, which is good, because that gives you, when they ask you those things, it's sort of on like they call it the STAR methodology. So situation, task, action, resolution, or a version of that that's very similar. And it's a HR thing where they essentially ask you questions and ask for them in that methodology. So a home lab fits perfectly into that environment, because it's kind of like you have the situation, which is this is the home lab you're building. The task is the building of the home lab. The action is whatever has happened while building that home lab. And then the resolution is the end result, which is, I mean, you can figure out the whole thing in one big hit without actually having a job, which is pretty cool, I think. So yeah, that's awesome to hear that worked for you. I've got a couple of other questions here. I'll keep it going on.
Yeah. What
was the moment for you where you thought that IT is sort of that's what you want to do? This is something you want to pursue and go forward with. What was that pivotal moment for you?
For me it was when it was fairly early on before I started university, and I found myself, I would be working a 12-hour day underground, and then going home and trying to piece together code off GitHub to get the Arduino working with various sensors and
what kind of sensors did you have going on? Was it like temperature sensors or other stuff?
It was more playing with IMU sensors, so inertial measurement units, and also some industrial pressure sensors as well.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Was that to complete some sort of task at the job that you had? Like, what was the purpose of that? Did you just think it was cool, or was there actually a
bit of both?
Yeah,
a bit of both. So, just more crazy ideas than anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're the
yeah,
best
trying
ones.
to come up. Yeah, exactly. Trying to come up with ways to get a compressor to unload with the micro, like with an Arduino, as opposed to a mechanical, like a pilot operated valve. Um, uh, Making a timer system for a grease spraying circuit. And then the other one was trying to make an angle measurement system for a drill using the IMUs, which, I got a prototype together for it, but I was coming up against more problems than I knew the solutions to. Yeah. So it was sort of at that point, it was time for uni. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. That's pretty much like all of the Raspberry Pi projects that I've ever had. Is I have this grand idea that I'm going to do something crazy with, and then I get to it, I'm like, yep, cool. Problem 1, okay, good. Problem 2, problem 300. You start getting down the rabbit hole, and you're like, oh my god, might be a little bit in over my head here. But I guess that's kind of like the fun of the hobby of it, for me anyway, to be honest. So
yeah, it just
um,
became something I could see myself doing long term. So
nice.
Yeah, I went with it.
Good. Yeah, for sure. Next question is, what is your favorite piece of educational material that you've learned from so far? So basically the one that stood out the most out of all of the things that you've learned. It's a tough question. It's pretty loaded.
It is a tough one. I guess if I could probably answer it in terms of source of material, possibly, which would definitely be YouTube. It's amazing. I wish it was about when I was in high school. It's so good. Like from a university point of view, I've had to be quite ruthless with my time management, and quite often you can get the information you need in a fraction of the time by searching something targeted on YouTube towards it, rather than watching a fairly drawn out lecture. I guess that's.
So you reckon, YouTube is the one place where you found the most amount of useful resources that are easy to find. That's pretty true. I mean, it's super
YouTube
searchable.
University.
Yeah, that's it. For every technical problem, there's a genius out there who's already made a video about it, or someone who thinks they know enough about it to have made a video. That's basically me.
It's a great starting point.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there is a lot of great info on YouTube to help you get started, especially the get started material. I find there's quite a lot. The really in-depth technical stuff, there's not a huge amount, but there's a reason for that, which is basically that no one watches it. It's too in-depth or too niche that it just doesn't get searched for or found ever, which is a shame, but whatever. What areas of, so I guess cybersecurity, but not really, more IT, have you seen the most growth in recently in your geographical area? So you're over in Western Australia. What sort of areas of growth in IT have you seen mostly? We'll keep it broad.
It's a bit hard.
Like IT as a whole.
Yeah. It's a bit hard for me to say. I live in a fairly isolated area, so I'm in a mining town of probably 35,000 people, and a fair way from the nearest city. So I'd say it's because of the remoteness, there's probably a steady need for IT professionals, but they're going to be sort of in the same companies. So whether that's local governance or something in the public sector or the mining.
I was about to say, in that community, it's either going to be mining or government, or like a combination of the two.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, tricky question because of the area you're in. But
Yeah.
that's okay. I get, because the reason I asked that question is because I wanted to gather like a basic understanding of different areas. So as these shows go on, I'm going to keep asking these same sort of questions to see different, I guess, growth areas of IT across the spectrum in different geographical areas. So it's something that I wanted to ask because I know that your area specifically is quite small, but worth asking anyway, just because why not?
Definitely. And the cybersecurity related work that all seems to be outsourced to Perth, so very little locally.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If you had to give one piece of advice for people who are just getting started in IT as a whole industry, so people just dipping their feet in the IT pool, what advice would it be?
Probably twofold. Would be firstly, find a community of some sort, whether that's like an in-person meetup or, in my case, a Discord group like DC's. That really pays dividends because you can learn a lot through other people's stories and experiences that they share on there. Make some really great contacts, and then to follow that up would be to find a mentor of some sort that when you're ready can help you make those next steps.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Before I get on to some of the new stuff, what's a typical day like for you at your job?
Cool. So it's improved a lot recently. So I'll usually get up around 6, do all the usual stuff and make a coffee, arrive at work around 8. We sort of triage whatever tickets might have come in overnight or first thing that morning. Deal with the morning rush of users needing some assistance. We have a stand-up meeting around 9 a.m., which is an opportunity to share any issues that might be there or get some help. Then on to knocking out some tickets. Possibly a few site visits. So there's probably half a dozen different business units on the wide area network that we look after. A chance to get around those. Usually lunch at 12 for an hour. That's been really great over the school holidays. My employer have had a holiday care program for the kids of employees. So my son's been going to that, and it's great to have the chance to actually have my lunch hour with my son, which has been really good. And then usually basically
overall that the day-to-day life has definitely improved since your previous job.
Massively.
Majorly in the way that you get to chill in aircon as a major plus. But also your work-life balance has also improved since back then. Yeah, nice. That's cool.
Hugely.
Let's skip and jump over to the news. I'm just going to resize this window, so just bear with me while all my windows take a quick dip. There we go. All right. I'm just going to resize this. I had actually resized this before the stream, but it kind of bombed out, so whatever. It's all good. Chuck that there. Awesome. All right, so the first news story is from Bleeping Computer. It is Windows vulnerability with new public exploit lets you become admin. The story reads, a security researcher has publicly disclosed an exploit for a Windows local privilege escalation vulnerability that allows anyone to gain admin privileges in Windows 10. Lucky Windows 11 is coming out. This vulnerability still exists, so I had a look. Using this vulnerability, threat actors with limited access to a compromised device can easily elevate their privileges to help spread laterally within the network, create new administrative users, or perform privilege commands. The vulnerability affects all support versions of Windows 10 before the January 2022 patch Tuesday updates. There's been an update to this. So this article was released yesterday. So actually today US time, but there's since been an update to this that also affects Windows 11. So this article is a little bit behind, but that's all good. There is a CVE for it, which is CVE 2022221882. If you guys want to check it out. But yeah, it's a pretty big deal, to be honest, because I mean, everyone is using Windows. So imagine, for example, like every enterprise system out there that's using Windows as their main system, who haven't made the jump to Windows 11 yet, who might not have actually, patched up to date this thing. So there's a lot of potential here for things to go wrong, but yeah, that's the way of these sort of things going on. The next news story is also from Bleeping Computer, and it's the title is over 20,000 data center management systems have been exposed to hackers. This is it's a story about a HVAC control system, and the reason I brought this one is because I'm pretty sure Beamer had some experience with HVAC systems previously, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Beamer.
Automotive, yeah. Automotive aircon, but yeah,
okay.
Quite different.
Is it? Yeah, I honestly have no idea. I just know that HVAC is something to do with air conditioning, I think, or air control systems, right?
Yeah, so HVAC, I think in the context of that article, it's more to do with like a building's HVAC or aircon system, possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's say so. Yeah, my experience is more to do with mobile machinery, air conditioning systems, which are pretty basic.
Fair enough. Okay, let's on to this article. It says researchers have found over 20,000 instances of publicly exposed data center infrastructure management software that monitor devices, HVAC control systems, and power distribution units, which could be used for a range of catastrophic attacks. Oh no. Data centers house costly systems that support business storage solutions, operational system. Basically, it's a data center that's been hacked. The building that hosts a data center must comply with strict safety regulations concerning fire protection, airflow, electric power, and physical security. If you've ever been to a data center, they're usually very serious about their security and what you can and cannot bring inside. For example, if you try and bring your McDonald's meal inside the data center, they will slap you. You won't be able to get in. Years of pursuing operational efficiency have introduced lights out data centers, which are fully automated facilities, managed remotely and generally operate without staff. However, the configuration of these systems isn't always correct. As a result, while the servers themselves may be adequately protected from physical access, the systems that ensure physical protection and optimal performance sometimes aren't. Okay, that's a pretty funny article, to be honest. Just thinking about, data centers as a fully automated thing, which is cool. That is cool. But then having, like, some of them are just not configured correctly, and that's where the vulnerability has come out of this, or I guess the data leak has come out. That's a little bit funny to me. Having been in a lot of data centers before, sometimes when you go to a data center, the data center guy, like the gatekeeper, is pretty serious. And it's a little bit funny how serious they can get. And they're serious for, like, I know why. It's a bit entertaining for someone like me who's a bit silly. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think about this, Beamer? What do you reckon about data center leaks happening in automated data centers? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, the HVAC's a pretty interesting attack vector, or
That's just one of them.
vulnerability.
I mean, they're sort
Yeah,
of talking about it's the control system that takes over the HVAC as well as all of the other electrical systems of that data center. So it's like it's a full access to the data center, which is probably not like so much the data itself, although the article did say 20,000 instances of publicly exposed data center infrastructure management software. So it's 20,000 times that someone's accessed the DC infrastructure management system. So that's, I mean, it's not the client data, which is good because that would be bad. That would be very bad. It's the data center itself that's been broken into. That's the interesting part for me. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Let me know in the chat. What you think about data center hacking? Is that something that you'd be interested in? You know what's actually interesting is that while it could be a data center hack, so you're hacking the management system of a data center, you know what's really similar to a data center management system is like critical systems like utilities, for example, like water systems or electric power grid systems. So like take it away from being just a data center with a bunch of people's data in it to a system that controls the water flow for a dam that could potentially flood an entire city. They're really similar systems. So if you want to take it from like kind of funny to pretty serious and potentially life-threatening, it's a very short jump in technology anyway, to go from something like, yeah. There's a guy on Twitch here, Pickle290780, says, if you have access to the data center controls, you can blackmail clients. If you manipulate the environment, you can cause severe repercussions. You're right. Bobby says using the AC as an attack vector makes it sound like Mission Impossible. Yeah, it could be. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of really big spinning fans. They do actually have massive exhaust fans, some of the data centers, but they're really well built. And that's why they have these huge management systems to take over it. But those management systems are super similar to like urban utilities, for example. And I don't mean the business urban utilities. I mean like actual urban utilities systems that are in place, like water systems and electric grids and all the rest of it. So yeah, for me, that's a pretty interesting article. It's funny, but also potentially life-threatening. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the topic. Do you have anything you want to add on that one before we go to a Q&A, Beams?
Yeah, I suspect those systems as well possibly aren't something that are subject to many updates. Yeah, I get the feeling that once they're implemented, they're sort of forgotten about as well. So over the course of a decade or however long that data center might be running for it, they probably don't get a whole lot of attention until it's too late.
Yeah, true. Rymac has said in the chat, don't businesses have generators if the power goes out? They do. Like these data centers do have backup power. They're not. I don't know if they're generators. I think it's like a completely separate link into a separate grid thing, like a really big generator kind of thing. But that's not the major problem here. It's not that the systems could go out. It's more like what damage you could do to the system itself. Like you could wind those fans up real high. You could make the aircon just turn off if you really wanted and overheat a whole bunch of servers. You can do a lot of stuff in a data center. There's some pretty intense stuff going on that you could just like. They also have them like separated in some cases, so like the power is actually separated through different floors or areas. So that's a way of them to be able to track how much power is being used by a system. So if you have like a whole, just like one rack, for example, sometimes they have power monitoring out of the back of that rack so that they can charge you for how much power you use. Pickle lots of numbers says there's usually a 4-hour SLA on power. Yeah, I've seen ones that are slightly longer than that, but they're massive huge data centers. He also says a provider will turn up with a generator and put you back on until the power is restored. Oh, okay. You mean one of those ones where it's like an SLA, like to actually go back in and resolve the problem. Yeah, that's a very small data center then, if they're coming in with a generator just to power your rack. That's tiny. I'm talking about these monstrosities, like they're as big as a city center type thing. Walking from one end to another, you take like a little golf cart data center, like those big data centers. They're the ones that I would assume would be automated to some level anyway. Because like a smaller one, you can just walk around, unplug stuff or plug it back in, or whatever. But yeah, before we get on to the Q&A, there's one more thing here from Rymac. Says, do shell companies have their systems connected to the internet? I think it depends on their need. I don't know. Probably. I would assume so. It depends on their need to have their system up there. Some people do have servers in data centers that they only have accessible through like one port or one section, one way in. So it's like, yeah. Oh, cheers, Christian, for the 24.99 Romanian libres or liras or whatever they are. I will buy myself an entire chopper chop with that. Thank you very much. Let's go. Pickle says, I'm in a small town in the UK, so I've never seen a huge data center. There are some massive data centers in the UK, like big mama ones. There's some big ones over there, dude. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the Q&A. Let me know what questions you have for myself or Beamer, who's in the thing just above me here. It's a shame he can't see my camera, so I'm assuming he's either watching the live stream and has like a 5-second lag, or he's just looking at himself. So he's absolutely.
I'm glancing across every now and then.
Yeah, I should actually just delete this other thing. I wonder if I can do that without. One sec. Let me try and fix this while I'm waiting for some questions to come in. I'm gonna do some magic on this thing, so bear with me. Oh yeah. Yep, that is the look at me, I'm on like 2 different cameras here. Deactivate when not showing. That should do it. Alright, I'll go back to the interview and then I'll turn off that. Let's see if I can get a camera going. Can you see me, Beamer?
Hey, there it is.
Hey, there we go. I knew I'd be able to fix it. All right, cool.
Yes.
Questions. Get your questions in, guys. I want to see some love in the chat. I want to see some gentle massages. There's 15 people, I think. 15 people in YouTube. 3 in Twitch. I forgot the name of Twitch for a second. And 0 in Facebook. No surprises there. No one watches on Facebook. I think the only person who follows this thing on Facebook is my mum. So, and she's definitely asleep. So, it's not going to happen. Bobby says, quick fix in production. It's just how we roll, dude. Sometimes you just got to get it done. And, I mean, there's only like 15 people watching, so I'm not terribly worried. And we've also been going for like 35 minutes, so no one sticks around past 3 minutes, according to the YouTube stats. So we're in the clear. Now we can swear, we can throw stuff around,
Have some
just
more
talk
whiskey?
absolute shit. Yeah, we can have some more whiskey. I'm actually on a detox at the moment, of all things. So I'm on the waters.
Oh,
I'm on water. Yeah, I had some soju the other night. No, that was pretty good. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah, as per usual, I had too much. So, oh my god, we have a question. Here we go. Master Lands. Hi, this is my first live stream here. Welcome, dude. I've been following you for 2 months now. Cool. Great content. Thank you. I don't have any questions though. Anything about hardware reversing? I'm gonna leave that to you, Beamer. Anything about hardware reversing?
Oh, not a whole lot. I've tried a little bit with a few things, but yeah.
Same. Yeah. I mean, maybe not reversing, but you can always do stuff with autopsy, which is kind of cool. So if you have like a old, I don't know, like an old Android phone and you want to get access to it and play around with it, autopsy is a great tool to do some of that stuff with. Hardware reversing, I mean, what kind of reversing are you talking here? Are you talking about reversing the software of a piece of hardware, like a phone? Or are you talking about reverse engineering hardware itself? I'd like to know which way you're asking there, because there is different types of reversing as well. So yeah. Question from Bobby Pinard. Beamer, have you been able to take anything from your career in mining into cybersecurity? That's an interesting question. I like that.
Yeah. There's definitely some parallels between dealing with operators and users. Yeah, very similar, especially in terms of explaining issues in ways that are easy to understand. Guess that's similar. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of a comparison to be made. No air conditioning versus air conditioning. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Replacing spanners for a laptop. Yeah.
Some of those things. Yeah. I guess, it is a very different industry, I guess. And a completely different job as well. So it's pretty tricky. There's a whole bunch of questions coming in now though, which is good. We got the questions in. Oh my god, I missed it. Okay, Computer Geek says, hello, question. Anything on MAC address spoofing? There's a Linux command that will literally spoof Mac. Have a look at it. Just Google Mac spoofing, and you can get it to choose like different hardware vendors as well, which is kind of cool. So if you get like, if you want to spoof the MAC address of a Intel NIC with another Intel NIC, then you can do that. You can specify that you want it to be an Intel NIC, but not your MAC address. So that's kind of cool. There is ways to see through that though. So just be careful with what you're spoofing and what you're not. And my question to you is, why are you spoofing your MAC address? What dodgy business are you getting up to? Next question is from Master Lands again. It says, I'm also new to this whole field, got interested in it, like printing hacked in my calculator would be a start. But anyways, thanks for the reply. Oh, okay. So you just want to mess about. I mean, you could do some pretty cool stuff with a Raspberry Pi, to be honest. I'll get my Raspberry Pi out because it is a sick setup. That I have. This is the one that I was talking about before that I've run into so many problems that I just haven't bothered to go any further with it. So I bought a GPS hat for it, it's not on here at the moment. I took it away because I thought it was broken, but it's actually my brain that's broken. And the thing I wanted to do with this was to have it as like a live CTF in my car. So I wanted to have a dark web file server that had a GPS hat stuck to it that you could access and find my location. So it's kind of like real world OSINT, but to be able to find, like, you had to hack into a Raspberry Pi. The one on the bottom was just a basic firewall protecting it. So you had to do like a port scan to be able to access the file server. To be able to access the file server would be where the logs and everything for the GPS were going to be saved to. It's a very simple concept. I just think I'm just not smart enough to figure it out. So I'll have another look at it and figure it out one day when I've got like heaps of time to mess about. But This is a kind of fun project. I think this entire thing, including the clear case thing, was about $500, give or take. And like it's considering how much kit is going on here, that's quite cheap for a home lab. I mean, imagine if you wanted to, for example, build a server or something like that. It'd be considerably more expensive. So, I mean, you can't even get like one drive for a server for $500. So, yeah. While I was talking, a whole bunch of questions came in. Rymax says, can you suggest videos about cloud-based attack and defense home labs? Yeah, I mean, I've got a whole series on it. But yeah, once I build that Raspberry Pi, I'll let you know, because that's basically what that is. Christian Pop says, any thoughts on the GIAC Certified Incident Handler cert? New job is pushing for me to do it. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's a pretty cool certification to get if you want to get, I mean, if they're asking for it. Usually I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who's just starting out because it's a bit tricky from what I've heard. But yeah, if they're asking you to do it, then have a crack. I mean, there's no reason not to. Jatin, Dougal, welcome back, dude. His question is it easy to transition in cloud security role for a security analyst? Is it easy to transition in cloud security role for a security analyst? Yeah, it is. If yes, which platform make most sense, especially after Microsoft buying Activision? What? That's not related. That's not related to the question. Come on, dude. I'll answer the first bit. Is it easy to transition into cloud security for a security analyst? Yes, it is. All you need to do is study some of the cloud specific security certifications, like the AZ security. I can't remember what the security one is called, but the Azure security one or the AWS security cert. Those two are ones that I would have a look at. Next question is from Grim Jim. Welcome back again, dude. I have a question for Beamer. Beamer, you got a question? I'm also transitioning from a similar trade as a diesel mechanic into IT, but not through the university route. Cool. How has it been entering a new industry, being in your 30s?
Yeah, good work, Grim Jim. It's been awesome. Yeah, once I got the first day jitters out of the way, yeah, never looked back. I did have the feeling for probably the first 2 weeks that someone was going to tap me on the shoulder and tell me to go back outside and fix a bit of machinery. But yeah, it's been awesome. Yeah, all my work colleagues are around my age, really taking me under their wing. Yeah, you can't go wrong. I think the trick is just to get your foot in the door in, however you can, and go from there.
So for someone who's doing it slightly differently to you, though, Beamer, who's not doing university, I'm curious, Grim Jim, where you are geographically. I'm pretty sure you've told me before, I just can't remember, so I'm sorry. I feel like it's South Australia, but maybe not. It could be Sydney, actually. Maybe it's Sydney. Anyway, I can't remember. But like, how come you're not doing university, first of all? And that's not like oh, he's in Melbourne. I guess literally everywhere else. But yeah, if you're not doing university, what are you doing to get yourself into cybersecurity? Is it into IT? So are you doing like certifications or maybe TAFE, or are you just sort of like self-learning through different home labs and stuff? I'm curious what learning path you're doing if it's not university to get into the industry. That's my question for you. I'll wait for that question to be answered because there's a few more here. We've got one from Dakota Myers. Question is, I'm over in the States and I'm on my 3rd year of bachelor's in cybersecurity. Awesome. I appreciate your content. Thank you. I've been doing a lot of theory stuff and a few labs. Where can I do some more hands-on stuff? I would like to mention the Safer Internet project here without sounding like a salesman, because that's exactly what it's for. But yeah, go and check out the saferinternetproject.com. It's a system designed to give you hands-on experience in cybersecurity. So if that's what you're looking for, that's what that system is designed for. Edgar Sandoval says, how important do you think it is to know at least the essentials of cloud security? I see some people here asking about that. I think it's, instead of learning about cloud security, I would just learn about cloud technologies. So an example of that is like Microsoft 365 suite. It's huge. It's used literally everywhere. Yes, there are lots of security controls in 365, but would I learn specifically about the security or the compliance side of 365? No. I would learn about how to use that system very, very thoroughly, because you're more likely to get a job of knowing how to use 365 than you are about learning how to secure it. And it's hard to secure something when you don't know how it works as well. So I don't want to sort of beat around the bush there. I think learning about the system rather than the security is a more pivotal thing to do first. What do you reckon, Beamer? I'll hand the question over to you.
Yeah, I was going to follow that up and just say I feel a really overlooked way to get into cybersecurity is to go in through an IT or networking sort of doorway, so to speak. I feel it's easier to get a start working in IT as a sysadmin or in networking. Learn the basics. Like everything runs on top of networking, whether it's in the cloud or on-prem. So, and then use that knowledge to then, go from there. Get your cyber certs and move into cyber.
Yeah, for sure. The thing with networking as well is that networking, like Beam said, is that it's used literally everywhere, which means I'm taking my mic out so I can talk directly into my mic. The thing with
sticker
as well, by the way. Yeah, I also just want to show off my sticker. The thing with networking is that there is a lot of jobs in networking as well, because it does control pretty much everything that exists in IT. So yeah, if you're sort of looking to get into a job as your first job, sysadmin, and sysadmin is going to include all of that 365 stuff, or sometimes they're included as one thing, networking. So if I was to say to anyone who's getting into IT from any industry or straight out of uni, what would I do? I would learn probably one networking cert, be it the CCNA or the Network Plus, and something to do with Microsoft or whatever systems. So maybe like an AWS cert if you want to go for the startups. Because, I mean, startups they probably don't use Azure because it's expensive, and AWS is a little bit more, versatile with what you can build on it. So, yeah, and it's cheaper. So, yeah, I would probably have a look at those two things as my first options. Grim Jim has come back and answered part of my question here. Master Lance is gone. See you later, dude. But Grim Jim said, I was accepted into a government program for people over 30 who want to get into IT. That's awesome. I vaguely remember you telling me about this now. So that's pretty cool. It includes A+, Network Plus, Sec Plus, and a paid internship. That's insane. What is this program? Yeah, what the hell? I've never heard of something so good in Australia. That's wicked. Okay, so if you're gonna get the A+, Network Plus, and Sec Plus a paid internship, I wonder which company the internship is through, first of all, and if there's any opportunities to get a job in there. And what that job is it going to be like directly cybersecurity, or is it going to be something general IT? That's my next question. Let's keep the conversation going. Bobby Pin says, Beamer, have you seen any discrimination in your new job because you're not originally from IT?
No, none at all, man. It's
That's good to hear.
I work as part of a small team. I was up front during the interview process. None at all. And then people outside the IT department don't know. I'm 35. If you can, walk the walk, then you're good to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. And also, you obviously try quite hard with what you're doing, which I think is another major piece for being accepted into any team. So for example, if you were going from IT to being a chef, but you didn't really give a shit about being a chef, you just turned up to be a chef and you just sort of tossed some stuff around, but just kept talking about how great your last job was, chances are you're not going to last in being a chef. And the same thing applies the other way around. Surprise, surprise, where if you want to become a cybersecurity whatever or an IT something, whatever, pick a title, you need to apply yourself for the job, obviously. So, obviously Beams is doing that and has been successful thus far, which is good. So, yeah. Next question is from Pickle290780. I think the biggest discrimination from non-IT to IT is what you place on yourself, the imposter syndrome. Yes. Yep. I think you're right, actually. I think you hit the nail on the absolute head. I was just talking to someone the other day. Oh my god, who was it? It was someone who... It wasn't you, was it? I don't think it was you. No, it was someone else who had just moved across into IT in a similar situation to Beamer, but hadn't been in IT as long as you have now. So I'm talking fresh, 1 month. And this guy was like, I just feel like I know nothing. Every day I go to work, I'm like, I don't know anything about what we're doing. I was like, dude, I've been in IT for 16, 17 years. I feel that every single day. I got no idea what I'm doing. I'm just a dude with a webcam who decided to start a YouTube channel. Absolutely no idea what I'm doing on the daily. Just no clue. Just, feeling my way through this all the time. And I think that's pretty common in IT as an industry because things do change all the time. I think people think I know stuff, but I don't. It's just confidence. I really don't know anything. So, that's I think that's pretty normal in the industry, though. The next question. This mic is so much when I talk here, it actually feeds back into my headphones, and it's intense. I like it. I think I've got a noise limiter here, so I don't know if it's chopping out or not. But anyway, whatevs. Next question is from Kieran. I'm not reading your last name. That's too long. How can I get a paid internship in cybersecurity? Do I need any kind of certification? That's a hard question to answer without knowing anything about you. To be honest, I haven't really seen many paid internships. I know of 2 people now. There's Grim Jim, who's got one called the Digital Jobs Program through Victoria Government, which is cool. So that's the second one I've heard of. The one before that I heard of was a guy in New Zealand. I can't remember his name at them. I think it was Christian Taylor, something like that. Anyway, I've chatted to him a few times a couple of years ago. He got a paid internship through his university at Xero, the company that makes accounting software or money tracking software. It's mostly accounting software. And he ended up getting a job there as he was doing a SOC thing for a little bit after his internship. And then after that, he moved into GRC because he found that he had a passion for GRC, which is cool. Now he's working in governance, risk and compliance, aka GRC, at Xero in New Zealand, which is awesome. And he got all of that through a internship. Saying that though, not everyone is as lucky as that. In fact, I would say 99% of people do the hard yards to get into cybersecurity. Usually doing something like networking or sysadmin work first, and then using that experience to then, move across into a cybersecurity role. That's usually how things go. To be completely honest, and to burst all the bubbles of expectations, that's pretty much how it is in Australia, especially. Next question was from Dakota Myers again. I've got a paid CyberSec internship, but again, I'm over in the States. Cool. What's it called? I'd like to know. Grim Jim says the program is linked to large companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Atlassian, ANZ, NAB, Swiss, MYOB, etc. But you could also get the internship with smaller companies or local government. That's pretty cool. Your internship will depend on what course you select. Okay, so what they've done is collected all these large, well, not just large organizations in government, but kind of everyone, and just said, we'll train these people and get them, into a job. Do you have to pay anything through this internship? Do you have to pay for the certifications or anything, or is it just all free? Because that's crazy. I really want to know more about this internship.
Sounds amazing.
It sounds insane. Yeah, I really want to hear if there's is there more? What do you pay? Do you have to pay for anything? Surely. Let me know, Grim Jim. I need more info about this thing. You know how much of a power move this is, holding a microphone, by the way? It's the most satisfying thing. It's so good. This is so much better because it comes with this desk mount thing, but every time you ever touch anything on your desk, it goes straight through, and it sucks. It just sucks. I used to have a boom arm, but then I long story short, I got really drunk and I snapped it off my desk. So yeah, I don't drink anymore. There's reasons for this, basically. Grim Jim, here we go. No, all the certs are paid for. What the hell? The course is free through a large cybersecurity company, and the internship is paid through a large cybersecurity company. Is that through CyberSec or someone? I'm just trying to think of which company has that much money to throw around to pay for certs for any, do they only accept a certain amount of people into the program, or is it that surely they must do? Otherwise, they're just throwing buckets and buckets of money away.
I'd be interested to know what the contract period is as well.
Yeah, true. How fast do you have to go through it? That's an interesting one. Yeah. He says he has access to all of the CompTIA Learn resources plus vouchers for the certs. That's freaking crazy. Rymax says, question for Beamer, what knowledge did you use from your previous job into IT? Kind of already answered this.
Yeah.
But I'll let you do it again.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of crossover knowledge-wise. Probably just the work ethic in terms of being happy to work 12 hours a day and then come home and study. That crosses over really well to learn a job quickly, and to study.
Yeah. Back to the questions and back to this crazy bloody internship. I'm legitimately blown away at this thing. We are going to wrap up the stream in 5 minutes tops though. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in, because we're now at 12 o'clock. It's midnight here and I've got to go to work in 7 hours. So get those questions in. Captain Turtle says, do you have a link for this magical intern opportunity? I would also very much like to see a link for this if possible, please, Grim Jim. Actually, before you put it into the chat, chuck it into Discord, into resources, and anyone who wants to have a look at that link, jump into my Discord. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to get people into Discord, because Discord is the future, damn it. Grim Jim says, yes, placements are limited. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Grim Jim got the ultimate life hack, Bobby says. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty insane deal, to be honest. Anyone who wants to jump into my Discord, by the way, it's discord.gg/dccybersec. Bobby's just slapped that into the chat. I'm gonna quickly grab another link that I'm gonna put into the chat before I wind this live stream up. Bear with me 1 second. Grim Jim has linked it in the Discord. I've also just thrown into the live stream chat there a link to Beamer's latest video. If you guys are interested, go and check it out. It's all about home labs, and well, the channel is all about home labs. That video is all about Proxmark. If that's something you're interested in hacking with, it's pretty cool. I would check it out if I was you. It's nice, easy watching. So go and check it out. All 20 of you, have a look at it, and leave a like, leave some love for Beamer, because there's nothing better than seeing when you just put something on the internet that that people have appreciated. It's the best feeling in the world, I'll tell you right now. So yeah, go and like and subscribe and all the things. And yeah, I'm gonna end this live stream here so I can go to bed. I can hear my dog barking, so I assume she wants to go outside to pee. So I'm gonna end it, and I'll see you all here next time. Thanks, Beamer, for coming on to this live stream. Yeah, man. And I'll see all of you on next week's show. We have let me see who's on next week. I've got a whole list of people here now. It's actually kind of crazy. Next week we have Zach from IT Career Questions. The week after that we have Live Overflow, who I'm sure you guys know of. After that we have Sec Studio. After that, John Hammond, and lots more. So this live stream could potentially be something pretty cool. Maybe one day, if I get my replacement boom arm in the mail tomorrow, hopefully. So yeah, anyway, thanks for coming on, Beamer. It's been a pleasure having a chat with you as always. And everyone go and check out